I was 19. My aunt raised me like her own child. She gave me love when my parents were gone. And then she got married. I welcomed him like family. I called him uncle. I respected him. But one day, he sent me a message. Then he followed me. Then he crossed the line. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell my aunt the truth. But how do you destroy the heart of the only person who ever loved you? I stayed quiet until it almost destroyed me. My name is Rina, and I'm 19 years old. I live in a small town with my Aunt Sarah. My parents passed away in a road accident when I was only 7. Aunt Sarah is my mom's younger sister. Since then, she has raised me like her own daughter. She gave me food, clothes, love, and education. I always called her Mama. She was more than just family. She was my world. When I turned 17, she married Zion. He was a tall, polite man. He was a businessman. Everyone said, Sarah is lucky. Zion is a good husband. I agreed. At first I felt happy for her. She finally found love. They looked like a perfect couple. He brought her flowers, gifts, and called her my queen. I respected him. I even called him Uncle Zion. But slowly, things changed. Zion started behaving strangely. He smiled at me for too long. He stood too close when no one was around. Once, he touched my hand and said, "You look beautiful today, Rina." I thought I misunderstood. Maybe it was nothing. But one day, when Aunt Sarah wasn't home, he said something that shook me. He looked deep into my eyes and said, "You're not a little girl anymore. You are very special." I stood frozen. I didn't know what to say. My hands turned cold. I laughed nervously and walked away. But it didn't stop there. He started texting me. "You looked amazing in that blue dress. I think about you every night." I married the wrong sister. I was horrified. I didn't reply. I wanted to scream, but how could I? Aunt Sarah loved him. She trusted him. She used to say, "Zayn is the best thing that ever happened to me," and I didn't want to destroy her happiness. So I stayed silent. But silence made things worse. Zayn began showing up at my college. He waited outside my class. He sent me flowers with no name. He followed me in his car once. I was scared. I cried alone every night. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I felt dirty. I wanted to run far away, but I had nowhere to go. This was my only home. Then one day, he came to my room at night. He knocked softly and entered without waiting. I sat up in bed, terrified. He whispered, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you. I just want to love you." I shouted, "Get out, or I will call the police." He walked closer. His eyes looked dark. I grabbed my phone and screamed louder. He stepped back and said, Okay, but remember, I love you." Then he left. I locked the door and cried until morning. The next day, I decided to tell Aunt Sarah. I had to. I couldn't live like this. She had to know. I sat beside her. My voice was shaking. I said, "Mama, I need to talk to you. Zayn, he tried to come into my room last night. He says he loves me." She blinked. Then she laughed nervously. "Rina, are you okay? Are you dreaming?" I said, "No, I swear on Mom's memory. I have messages. I can show you. She stood up. Her face turned red. She shouted, "How dare you? Are you jealous of me?" I said, "No, I respect you. I love you." But she slapped me hard. She screamed, "You are a liar. You want to break my home." I fell to my knees. I whispered, "Please, I am not lying." She pointed at the door. "Leave. Now, you're not welcome in this house." I picked up my bag and left. I had nowhere to go. I stayed with a classmate for a few nights. I didn't go to college. I didn't speak to anyone. People started gossiping. Zion told everyone. Rina tried to seduce me. I had to throw her out for my wife's safety. Even my best friend stopped talking to me. No one believed me. But I had proof. I opened my phone and printed every message, every picture, every chat. I made copies and went to the women's protection cell at the university. They took my complaint seriously. They promised an investigation. 2 weeks later, they called me. They had spoken to other staff members who saw Zion waiting outside my classes. Some even received anonymous complaints from other girls. Zion was called in. He denied everything, but the messages and screenshots spoke louder than his words. The cell called Aunt Sarah too. They showed her everything. At first, she sat in silence. Then she looked at the printouts. She saw the late-night texts, the photos, the timestamps, the proof. Her hands began to shake. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She whispered, "He said she was lying. He said Rina wanted him." Oh my God. She stood up and cried loudly. I slapped her. I threw her out. She was right. And I broke her. That night, Aunt Sarah came to see me. She hugged me and cried like a child. She said, "Rina, I don't deserve your forgiveness. I didn't protect you. I hurt you. Please." I was blind. I hugged her back. I said, "You are still my mama. I still love you. I missed you so much." She cried harder and said, "I will leave him. I will never live with a man who looked at my daughter like that." She filed for divorce. She stood tall in court. She said, "He betrayed me, not just as a husband, but as a human being." Zayn lost everything: his reputation, his family, and his freedom, because more girls came forward later. He was arrested. Aunt Sarah and I moved to a new place, far from the pain, far from the gossip. Now we are healing. We laugh again. We cook together. We watch movies. But sometimes, when I look at her, I still see the pain in her eyes, the pain of loving the wrong man. And I understand, because sometimes the person you trust the most can hurt you the deepest. But remember, you are not alone, even if no one believes you at first. Keep speaking your truth. Truth is like the sun. It can't stay hidden forever. If this story touched your heart, please like this video. Comment below. What would you do if you were in Rina's place? And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful English stories.